Hey everybody, and welcome to Mama There Goes That Blog. Hey everybody, and welcome to
Mama There Goes That
Blog. I'd like to welcome my co-host Max today, Max Marino. He does some sports radio hosting at Quinnipiac at WQAQ. Thanks for joining me, Max.
I appreciate you having me, Flynn.
Of course, we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be debating two different topics between four of the up-and-coming young point guards in the NBA. First of all, we're going to start with Morant and RJ Barrett. Both impressed in their NBA debuts, Max. Barrett scored 21 points on 9 of 13 shooting last night, and Morant scored 14 points on 6 of 12. Max, since you're my guest, I'll let you lead off here.
I appreciate that, Flynn. I figured you were going to let me start, but, this Rookie of the Year debate it's going to be interesting because I do think if Zion Williamson was playing the whole year, it'd be like a runaway. He'd be a lock, and He still might be because he's
not coming back till Christmas.
Exactly, and they're going to keep him out of games like here and there, so he might not play. He might not get to play the amount of games, but that's beside the point. Now I think it's a two-man race, like you said, between Morant, number 2 pick, RJ Barrett, number 3 pick. For me, I stand with RJ Barrett, and that isn't just because I'm a Duke fan. I love this game last year, but you know what? He did have great college numbers dating back to last year, 22, 7, and 4, and he was the number 1 overall recruit. He put up those numbers in a system where he had 2 top 10 recruits, with him, including the number 1 overall pick in Zion. So I think that, for starters, to put up those numbers is impressive. And, getting into the NBA side of things, I think right now RJ Barrett has a better NBA body. He's like 6'6", bit taller, and he's bigger too. He's a little slower and stuff, but that might bode well for him. It's a long season. Everybody always talks about a rookie wall, so to be bigger physically is definitely beneficial. I think he's better than Morant at finishing around the rim. And I think that's going to be really important because he was getting easy buckets last night. And I know, the Spurs, even with Marcus Aldridge, they don't have great interior defense. So it was, he was getting to the rim with ease last night.
And Murray's a pretty good defender, I'd say.
Exactly. I was going to say Murray's definitely an athletic, good defender. And, anytime you put up 21 on 9 of 13 against a Greg Popovich team, it's pretty impressive, especially in your first game on the road. So I definitely think, that bodes well for him. He's a lefty, and I think that's kind of like an underrated aspect for him because you're not guarding lefties every night.
You see it with James Harden.
Yeah, dude. People the defensive positioning is everything, especially to really good defenders. So I think that not having a lot of tape on him, one, because he's a rookie, and then the fact that he's from the left side, that's a whole new dynamic that you have to worry about. He's also good at going with his right too, so I like that for him. I think he's got more of a killer mentality than Morant does right now. He has a better supporting cast than I think Morant does right now. Then even though the Knicks aren't great,
I might disagree.
I was gonna say we'll see, but I was looking at the Grizzlies roster and it's not too high either.
5 years from now,
yeah, we'll see.
Jared Jackson and Ja.
You're right. No, that's a power combo for sure. But he's also, I think RJ at the end of the day, he's gonna take a lot of shots. Dude, he's not bashful at all.
Yeah.
And I think because he's gonna have a high usage rate, even though Ja is too.
To his credit, a lot of rookies would shy away from that, but
exactly no, and he's not gonna shy away from nothing, and he wants to take on the challenge to turn the Knicks franchise around. So yeah, I'm going with RJ for sure.
You know what, Max? In 33 games last year for Murray State, Morant had 24.5 points, 10 assists, nearly 6 rebounds, and nearly 2 steals. Now you say that's OVC, who are they playing? But he was the OVC Player of the Year, and it was worthy of the number 2 selection in the NBA draft, correct?
Yep.
So if you look at him, I think he's the most complete player coming out of the draft as far as his ability as a passer and his vision. I think his ability to make his teammates better, like I said, are second to none. When you look at him, you kind of get the feeling he's undersized, but he's really not. He's 6'3", and his vertical is 43, 44 inches.
The roof.
So he can play above the rim on both ends of the floor.
Sure.
Right, so as for his consistency from three-point range, there's work to be done, but I feel like that can be said for 90% of draftees
and
each
it can
year.
be said for Barrett,
and
too.
It can be said for Barrett.
So I'll agree with you there.
Here's where it gets fishy. 81% from the free throw line is encouraging for Morant, but 66% from Barrett at Duke last season.
And he missed a few last night, too.
And if you look at Barrett, he shot 45% on 18 shots per game, and he scored less points. Like I said, it's the OBC and the ACC. You have to take that into account. I'm certain his ability to score the ball will translate, speaking for Barrett. But if you look at his efficiency as a playmaker, 4.3 assists per game with 3.2 turnovers.
Yeah.
So at some point, you got to look at Morant as a more complete player at this time because he takes care of the ball. He makes his teammate better. And I feel like RJ's ceiling is a little higher, but not by much, and I feel like it could be pretty even competition going forward.
I definitely, it's arguing ceiling too is such a hard thing. I think they both have obviously extremely high ceilings when you're a top 3 pick. But definitely for Ja, I mean, like he could be like a Derrick Rose type athleticism guy where he's getting to the rim and blowing by guys who are smaller than him because he's quick too. So like when you match quickness with leaping ability, that's definitely tough. And then you're right, his playmaking, he was dropping a few dimes last night. But the thing is, for me, if you're looking at it from like a voter's standpoint, Ja Morant might be a way better playmaker, but because like his team is not good, and neither are the Knicks. But he might not get those assist numbers that he should be.
Average. They have average players.
The Knicks have at least strong veteran players like Julius Randle, Marcus Morris. I mean, the 2 best players in the Grizzlies are Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson. Both are extremely young. And then who else do you have exactly? Like Honus Valanciunas.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like Dylan Brooks. Like they're okay players, but like the Knicks do have better players. And I think the Grizzlies, like if you look at the game last night, like they played pretty well for 3 quarters against the Heat, and then ran into a wall. Same with the Knicks, but in the sense that
they fought back.
They fought back, yeah, and like the Grizzlies just against the Heat too, against a not great team. Neither are the Spurs, but the Spurs are definitely better than the Heat, I would say.
And it will benefit Barrett to not have to carry his team every.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's definitely what I was getting to for sure because like Ja Morant is going to be the focal point of that offense, and also I didn't even mention this. He plays in the West. Ja Morant.
True, yeah.
That's a lot tougher. RJ Barrett's going to have a lot more easy nights. So I think those stat numbers, and that's really what people are looking at for Rookie of the Year. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah.
Moving on to our next topic, Max. We're going to go with Trae Young and De'Aaron Fox. Now, I'll take this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, you go
if you look at Trae Young, although he is a year younger than Fox and bested him in both points and assists last year by a short margin, I still think you got to get the efficiency nod. It goes back to efficiency with De'Aaron Fox. I don't know if I've seen enough out of Trae Young to say I would rather have him on my team. He shot 41% last year. He turned the ball over nearly 4 times a game. Of course, he has all the potential in the world, but you have to value each possession and take care of the basketball. So he's going to need to improve in that regard. As for Fox, his speed is unmatched. He can go coast to coast in the blink of an eye, and he doesn't settle for as many bad shots or as often as Young does. And I think it's closer than a lot of people think, because I feel like a lot of people would give it to Trae Young right off the bat. You give the nod to Young from 3 and at the free throw line, but I think Fox is a better defender. His nickname is Swipe of the Fox. But that said, it will be interesting to see if the Luke Walton effect takes over and diminishes Fox's season or career like he did with Lonzo the last couple of years. You saw it already last night. Walton played Trevor Ariza as many minutes as his 2 young star players. He doesn't use franchise guards in big game situations and doesn't utilize them in the role that they typically thrive in. So, we'll see.
Was it Fox and Hield that?
No, it was Fox
and Bagley.
Hield had a pretty good game, 25 points, upward 25 points.
Yeah, I actually didn't catch that game, but I heard they got whopped by the Suns. That's funny.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing for sure. Look, for this debate for me, usually I wouldn't roll with the kind of player that Trae Young is over the kind of player that De'Aaron Fox is, because I like those kind of players better than these kind of players.
Yeah.
I really do. But when you're comparing these two for me, I was really critical of Trae Young when he was coming up to the league. I was like, there's no way he's going to be good. There's just no way. He just chucks up shots. But in reality, that's kind of the way the NBA is going. It not necessarily just chucking up shots, but it's quick possessions. It's running up and down the court and playing freely. We see Steve Kerr let Steph Curry do whatever he wants. And Steph Curry, 2-time MVP, 3-time champion. unanimous MVP, whatever.
You don't want to compare them, but
at a young age, Trae Young might be better than Steph Curry was. That's always the thing, because Steph Curry took a little bit to get into the league. Trae Young, for me, he's a perfect fit for the style of play for today's NBA. And I think he has a really good supporting cast for his style. I think the Kings have more talent of a supporting cast, but they have Bagley and Giles down low. So, and you got a guy like Buddy Hield, who is, right now, he's uber confident in the sense that he's going to be shooting and shooting. And I know he's a shooter, and that could help Fox, like, playing off him, but he might be taking away from some of the shots. To me, Trae Young, he's a perfect supporting cast because he just has shooters. He's got a big like John Collins who could roll to the rim, a big like Alex Len who we could feed it into.
You got Huerter coming off.
Dude, Huerter and Reddish, and you got a veteran presence like Vince Carter helping him out.
They got a lot of young players. I think they're going to be one of the most surprising teams.
And they have a coach who doesn't hate young talent. And I'm so glad you mentioned Luke Walton, because if you didn't, I was gonna. But no, I mean, it's a real thing. The fact that, like you said, Trevor Ariza is playing the same minutes as De'Aaron Fox, I don't know what the whole deal with that is. I don't get it. Luke Walton never will get it, apparently. He'll let a bench unit ride for so long because they start to do well, but then they start to not do well because they're bench players. And that's what bench players do. They get you back into the game. They don't win you the game. And that's what Luke Walton...
He doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand that, dude.
Player.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. He wants to hold on to the idea, so maybe he just hates young stars for some reason. I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't hinder, Fox's success. But I'm starting to think that it's gonna have some ripple.
It will definitely have some impact.
It might. It really is. And for Trae, and going back to Trae Young, 19-8 last year as a rookie. Like you said, he'll never be the defender of Fox is. He'll never be as good in open court as De'Aaron Fox is. I mean, he's
still good in open court, though. He's very nifty.
Trae Young has a ball on the string. You know what I mean? He controls it better than De'Aaron Fox does, because De'Aaron Fox, what are you really worried about? You're worried about him getting to the rim from his left side. That's what you're really worried about. With Trae Young, you're worried about the shot.
Sometimes you want to let him settle.
Exactly. Sometimes exactly. You want to let him settle, or you definitely don't want him to get in the floater. He's really good at getting in the rim, just chucking it up, and he's a better playmaker than De'Aaron Fox. So.
Yeah, I can sit here and criticize his shot attempts all day, but the fact that he can get those shot attempts where he wants them is a credit to his ball handling skills as well. So
exactly, they're both talented handling the ball, and Fox might be a little bit more efficient, but Trae Young to me is a superstar in the making. So we'll see.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today. Hopefully, me and Max and any other co-hosts who want to come up here and debate basketball, we'll do this again next week and the week after and the week after. So thanks for joining us.